This is Swanson. Rapidly across Tarsian. Leading centre back. Smith. And with it always turns, it's a corner.
And that's a matchup the United States will take all day with Mal Swanson and Tarsian in the corner. Trying to make that near post run is Smith. Almost gets there.
The United States supporters orchestrating a charm, making themselves known and heard inside Parc des Princes. The referee will delay the taking of the corner kick. And one of the other features we're looking for today is an abundant amount of stoppage time. First, because of the Brazilian tactics of holding things up, maybe on occasions feigning injury.
Setup. If you don't clear that first defender, Brazil is off and away. US in a game like this just has to be better on their set pieces. But you get the rest. Again, just missing at that near post. Horan in a little deeper spot. Could she? Swanson maybe have pulled it with Horan lurking. But you're seeing the U.S. stacking up in two lines, one at the front, the near post, one at the back post.
Swanson. Close drifting.
Putting a hand up because she knows there's a trim spin. I knew they were going to give it to us. What a beauty that was. Oh my.
Mark's about as a confession. It was a warm day in Paris without being oppressively hot.
The way this Brazilian team will press, John, is if you can solve that first pressure as the trend spin did. If they can solve it like that every time, that would be great. But you saw Crystal Dunn do it from the left side, from that left back position. If you can solve that, they send a lot of numbers. They oversend at times. And there is space to be found once you solve it.
Dominance of NWSL players at this stage. Of the 44 players across the two rosters, 27 are with NWSL clubs.
I did the math on that. 61%. And you add in the alternates of the 44 players.
Julie, can I stop you there? You didn't do the math on that. Our researcher, Jen Cooper, did the math on that.
Great point. Excellent point. I think I did the math and she confirmed it. Maybe she did it and I just did it.
If you want to think that, that's fine. Jennifer. Ludmilla. And Tice. Tarsian. decisions,
Yes.
the official is supposed to wait because of the possible involvement of VAR.
Thank you. And we had one that was 5 yards offside that they didn't flag in the last game. And this one, I think by the naked eye, actually, we'll see if they look at that. Looked close. And the danger that Brazil is going to live on with that three back they're building out of. There's a good look with that wide shot of how Brazil builds. 3, 2, 5. They punch 5 all the way forward. 2 in the midfield, 3 in the back.
Smith. Rapidly was Tyrese Coffey. Ball just handed for Rodman.
And that's not a bad foul by Albert there because Brazil was off and away.
The referee, by the way, is from Sweden, Tess Olofsson. She also took charge of the game this time last week on this ground against Japan.
It was offside, thank God. Yeah.
And there you see Ludmilla making that run. I think she is in an offside position, barely. But not often you see someone get around Naomi Gurma like she did. They've checked it, they've confirmed it.
Confirmed it as being offside.
And now, mind you, Gurma, as amazing a tournament as she has had, she has played every single minute of this tournament. And as you were saying, John, earlier, 6 games in 16 days. And that is really the first time I have seen someone get by Naomi Gurma in this tournament. She has been that good.
She was actually allowed to sit out yesterday's training session just because she had played every minute of every game. Anna Hayes wanted to keep her as fresh and dynamic as possible. Tassian. Pursued by Robin.
That disallowed goal by Ludmilla though gives you a perfect glimpse of how Brazil want to operate. As soon as they get wide, they are sending that early ball in, and there is the Rodman-Tassian matchup that's going to be a beauty today. But as soon as they get it wide, they are fighting that ball in and trying to get behind that back four.
So 2 very presentable opportunities missed by Brazil, and a tightish offside call, chalking off what they thought momentarily was the opening goal. The United States has scored first in every gold medal game they've ever played. Here Brazil are making good progress. And it's once more with Miller, who's very nearly on the end of the chance. The US living dangerously.
And it's once more Gabby Portillo on that right side. So very close. Going up against Tiana Davidson, who missed earlier in the tournament 2 games because of that knee contusion. Only played a half in the last game. And as to be expected with the load they are carrying in this tournament, you come in with some knocks. Both teams.
Possession. Matilda convinced that was a foul.
I'm not sure how that wasn't a foul, John.
Swanson, she was wrestled to the floor. Mallory Swanson winning her 100th cap today for the United States, and the second USA player to earn number 100 in a gold medal game. Heather O'Reilly in the 2008 final against Brazil.
Oh, that's fantastic. And happy birthday, Sophia Smith.
24 today.
24 today.
And she's only the second US player to spend her birthday playing in a gold medal game. Megan Rapinoe, who we saw earlier, was the first. 2015 World Cup final following her 30th.
And that replay gives you a good indication of how scruffy and aggressive this game is going to be. And the most important thing for the United States that Emma kept talking about yesterday for us was how she wanted the team to stay calm, to breathe, to battle for sure. And there is Ludmila in that offside position.
Brazil are in forward motion again. And Brazil appeal to a referee who points calmly for a goal kick.
Again, it's the left side of the United States, very close, because Dunn seems to get Adriana's back leg there.
It'll be interesting to see if this becomes a VAR review. The referee has just asked the players to pause for a moment whilst VAR checks it over. The video assistant referee is Ivan Bebek of Croatia. And certainly the first replay we saw there suggested there was contact from Crystal Dunn. And that's why we and Tessa Olofsson are being kept in suspense, and there is now a formal check going on for a possible penalty kick. But the check has not become a formal review.
Here's another look at it, and there is the contact. Both of them, though, from that angle, look like they're coming into each other.
Swanson, Dunn. And Crystal Dunn battles on. Swanson. Followed by Tice. Coffey. With the play advantage. And Rodman chases. And Rodman gets there. And Trinity Rodman wins the corner.
And the U.S. finding their moments. Out wide, Swanson on the left, Rodman on the right. Last piece of the puzzle we always talk about with this team, and especially at this level against as good a team as Brazil, is that final third. Passing and connection has to be spot on.
Swanson's unhappy with the ball. Nobles returned it.
And we've seen Mallory Swanson now hit one short, hit one into the side netting directly from the corner kick.
And Rose Lavelle would often be taking these if she was starting the game. Swanson. The radar's a little off at the moment. This is probably the most uncomfortable 23 minutes that the US has had at this tournament.
And a good look at Brazilian's goalkeeper in Morena, who's been such a huge lift for this team at this tournament. Didn't play in the World Cup, wasn't selected for that roster. Really, all of her time came almost April of this year, where she started every game since April, and I just think she has been tremendous for this team as this tournament has grown. And as this team in Brazil has grown, only 3 goals they scored in their first 4 games, and then they had 4 in that semifinal alone against only the defending World Cup champion.
Jennifer and allows Nair a chance to advance.
Ludmilla causing all sorts of problems. Jennifer can't come down with that one.
Who's on their way to the NWSL and the Chicago Red Stars at the end of this tournament, joining from Atletico Madrid. Taylor Davidson. Same outcome, Brazilian throw.
Davidson turned to Alyssa Nair and said, "My bad," because Nair was coming to clean that up.
Albert. Giva. Jennifer. And Davidson. And Mallory Swanson on the run. Sweeping power. Poise. Pace. But no finish. Smith. Now it's around. Almost got the shot away. Rodman. Brazil's turn to be made to feel and look uncomfortable. US corner.
Well done by Lorena with this save, but a great look at Mal Swanson's pace. Tarcian trying to come all the way across, and what a good run that is. Lauren out of the play. Tarcian has to make that sliding tackle to just make it a bit uncomfortable. And if not for Tarcian coming all the way across, perhaps the United States might be on the scoreboard there.
Mallory Swanson's 4th attempt to deliver a testing corner. Still no. Instead she can deliver a cross. To get back in goal. She's way off her line. And Brazil have been sufficiently delayed that Nair's got back in position. Adriana. Over Jennifer, comes for Yasmin, and Bjorn is there in the nick of time.
Again, Adriana on that right side.
Yaya's shot after Corbin Albert appeared to be blinded by the sun. Yasmin. Giva Sampaio.
Brazil getting all sorts of looks in the United States box. Nair decides not to come for this. You can see her hand over her head because it's right into the sun. But living on the edge, the United States in these first 27.
Very unhappy with the ball being in motion when the free kick was taken.
success on the left side of Brazil is coming from their left wing back in Yasmin. All the way back on the right corner of your screen when they give that wide. You see the three center backs for Brazil. Yasmin having a 70-yard run back and forth that she is making quite often with those fresh legs.
And this conversation going on down below us. And that's the second time, by the way, Jane had to lay that the match ball has been changed because the pressure was wrong. Varane. And it's a good rescue by Swanson. Rodman.
John, they want the United States running. They want an open game. They know there are some tired legs with this U.S. team. Any type of open game benefits them. The danger, of course, being those front three. They know that. The speed of those front three in transition.
And we are going to have a hydration break at this juncture. The temperature has reached 86 degrees, which is the cut-off point, the wet bulb temperature to give it its formal title. And both sets of players are allowed 1 minute to take on board some hydration. So after a pretty uncomfortable first half hour for the US, how are you reading this, Julie?
Well, it's a good chance with these hydration breaks to actually get a chance to reset, to gather, to say, okay, what do we need to do better here? Because they are getting into those spaces in the United States. They have had a few looks, but they also look very vulnerable with that back four, and especially when they try and build out. Because there's just so much pressure from Brazil. I mean, and you look at Brazil in this tournament, we've talked about it, but it's worth repeating. They made 6 changes after their first game. They made 7 changes after that game, and then another 7, and then 5. That was the least amount. And they come into this semifinal. The U.S. has had 8 players that have played 80% of the minutes or more, and man, boy, is this going to play a total in the second half with some of this heat. Brazil has had 2 that have played, and one of those is Lorena, their goalkeeper. So one field player with over 80% minutes, and so they want to run. They want to make it chaotic. They're going to root for chaos.
A lot of ambient noise, just difficult to pick up exactly what Emma Hayes is saying, but she's delivering a message in pretty animated fashion. As is Arthur Elias, the man who had multiple successes as manager of Corinthians in Sao Paulo, to earn him the chance with the Brazil national team.
The United States will be talking about them having success when they can turn that back three, turn them. You've seen it on those goal kicks where they're finding Haran and they're flicking on. The ball's over the top. Be less consumed with possession and more with getting it to those front three.
Of course, the time taken for the hydration break will become additional time at the end of the first half.
I wonder as well if they're going to sit Crystal Dunn a little bit more in that back four instead of building with a 3. Maybe they build with a 4. She typically pops into midfield, as we were talking about, and Gabby Portillo on that right side you just got a glimpse of.
Victoria Yaya. Moran. Sophia Smith. Early delivery. Dealt with by Thais. Here's Coffee. She can't get there. Miller did, but Rodman. And then Thais back to Lorena, although it's a little short. And Lorena was clipped, nothing more than that by Swanson.
Looks for the U.S. though come off of mistakes. These little things, they're trying to pick up misplaced pass, and Brazil known for these.
And Brazil's goalkeeper requiring rather more prolonged treatment than it seemed likely when the collision actually happened. The United States playing in their first Olympic final since London 2012. Their 6th overall, which is a record. There have only been 8 Olympic women's football tournaments. USA with another record, which is 4 gold medals so far.
You look on the bottom left of your screen, look where Trinity Rodman is. Looks like they pulled her back even deeper.
Lindsey Horan.
Because of the success that Yasmin and Ludmila have had on that left side, Rodman floating all the way back.
Dunn. Horan. Smith.
We've now seen 3 balls when they turn the corner go to that near post. No one able to get on the other side of it. Again, that delivery in the final third, so critical. Can they pull it? Can they push it to that back post?
Progress by degrees. And for this time, the player that's down. Physio required. Davidson. Baccio. Smith fouled, although the decision could have gone the other way. Certainly thought they had a case.
Smith coming across, as you said, gets the leg as well.
Marta going through some gentle limbering up.
I think it was a big decision after Marta started all 3 group stage games, given how many changes they have made in this tournament. Big decision with her available for the first time in the knockout stages, coming off that red card 2-game suspension, not to start her. Because the team had so much success against Spain with this high press, high energy, a bit frenetic, but it is effective. And Arthur Elias, similar to Emma Hayes, willing to make bold decisions.
been such an inspiration to multiple generations, not just in Brazil, but right across the footballing world. Emily Fox. And they're taking no chances. Yasmin.
Struggling as she looks right into that sun coming directly at her. Wasn't even sure whether, with that depth perception, sometimes it can get so hard whether she could go or stay.
Gabby Pacheco. Tackling here. That post was Ludmilla again, and she really has been the main threat.
And Pacheco has her way in that corner, but Fox does well to get on the end of this because Ludmilla is coming. She knows it. Well done by Fox to get position so hard as you're running towards your own goal to knock that wide.
Brazil's first corner of the contest. Yasmin. Albert. Yaya.
There's a lot of Chicago Red Stars fans out there going, okay, let's go. Ludmilla, here you come. She's having herself a good first half.
Now tell me, Julie Fowler, you were extremely excited this morning. Looking forward to this game, understandably so. Has that excitement been replaced in any way by concern?
Still excited. Wee bit concerned, yes. But no, still excited. I mean, I think you knew it was going to be like this. They're going to get their looks. They're going to get their chances. They're talented. They're a good team in Brazil. They're fast. They're feisty. The thing I'm most concerned about is how much Trinity Rodman has to drop into her defensive third because they're winning that chess match. And there she is again. And the other thing I'm very concerned about, while we're on the topic,
Let's go on the concede to corner, you were saying?
the fatigue level. As this game starts to wear on, the tired legs of the United States become a bigger issue.
So a third bout of extra time in a week would be a problem.
They have 2 back-to-back extra time games. Not a lot of rotation.
Adriana. Moran, here's Smith. Brazil ball.
And right now, the United States trying to find some type of offensive presence in those transitional moments. But Brazil has done a really good job of breaking up the good looks the United States have had.
Duda Sampaio. Gabby Pacheco. Ludmilla. Then they're getting a foot to it. Adriana for Brazil. The famous canary yellow jerseys. Victoria Yaya.
And what Arthur Elias has added to this Brazilian team is we've always known the Brazil that plays with a lot of flair and creativity. He's added a verticality to them in terms of a directness and a bite that wasn't there in the past. When you look at some of the legends of these Brazilian players, from Formiga to Cristiano to Cici, Katia, such creative players.
US free kick. And a minor disagreement to boot.
And these are the moments the United States needs to play for, because when you're not having a lot of success in your build-out and possession, you play for these set pieces. So far, as we mentioned, service has not been great.
And it's the same player who's been taking the corners who's going to swing this free kick in, Mallory Swanson. Unable to get that. Second contribution is a foul. And it's all in the referee's face asking for a yellow card.
He is yet to go. Tess Olafson, two-handing out a card. That one is going to be close for sure. Again, Corbin Albert, arguably you could say a very smart foul in that moment.
We're into 6 extra minutes here. Much of that was down to an elongated hydration break. Smith complaining there that she was held.
And it's going to be an interesting halftime talk with Emma Hayes and some of the adjustments she might make here. You're seeing largely the United States with Trinity Rahman again at the bottom of your screen, having to drop way back. Attacking with that 2, and Haran as the 10. Ton of success in these last 20 minutes in particular. You've got Rose Lavelle, of course, could come in. Len Williams, who has come in some.
Arsene Wenger and Yuri Jokaev, 2 of the greats of French men's football. And there's Gabby Pacino! Mayer with a miraculous save. Not her first of this tournament. You remember that stunning stop at the end of the semi-final. The United States periodically have been teetering in this first period. Brazil asking difficult, searching, awkward questions and winning another corner. US indebted to their hugely experienced last line of defence.
And again, it's Alyssa Nair with a huge save to lead the United States, and Brazil off the scoreboard. Does very well there with that quick react.
Judah Sampaio. There was a case there for Alyssa Nair coming to collect that, but she stayed on her line. No harm done. Goal kick.
This player in Ludmila, you can see the deflection from Dunn. Garma tries to come across at the near post. Porchio hits it so well in a flash. And that is another great save by Alyssa Nair.
Not quite of the magnitude of the save at the tail end of the semi-final, but not far short. That stop from Lara Freigang the other night in Lyon was astonishing. And it led to one of the great tweets, which suggested that 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by water, the rest by Alyssa Nair.
Yes, rightfully so. Facts, as my kids would say, facts.
Yasmin. To Adriana. And the US will be grateful to see half-time the way this is unfolding. Yasmin.
Yeah, and if you're Brazil at halftime, that discussion possession very different. Keep pressing, keep fighting balls in, keep getting in on the corners, having a lot of success every time they're marked 1v1 in the corner. They're turning, they're getting around that corner. Another good look at it. And they have the fresh legs to do so, which is the danger of this second half.
Smith. Was cleanly won.
The problem with this style of play, with it being so frenzied, John, of course, is that you don't have the freedom in possession to rest. And that's what they've been using as their rest moments. They possess, they hold, they knock it around. Brazil's not giving them that time or space, and it's not going to change second half, I guarantee you that.
Backs up for offside. Just think that we'll see Marta at some stage in the second half, or if things are going well for Brazil, do they stick with what they have?
No, I think we will see Marta, and I think Brazil wants a fresh Marta on some tired U.S. legs. At 38, still wielding a lot of magic.
Germa, importantly. Crystal Dunn, who's actually won the throw, and the half-time whistle isn't very far away now.
You also might see a nice Wonger, for example, come in for Crystal Dunn, who's had a tremendous tournament, but looks a little fatigued today, no question.
There gave the shout to Naomi Germa. And that should do it for a first half that's been a bumpy ride for the United States. They will
And it's halftime.
Whistle. With celebrity support very much in evidence today inside Parc des Princes. VAR scares, a brilliant save by Naya. One tight offside decision. Half-time score in southwestern Paris. USA 0, Brazil 0, and that is something of a relief. Stay tuned for today's halftime show, which is brought to you by Hyundai.
How was practice? Good.
You okay, man?
I don't know.
You know, you don't have to keep doing this.
You know, maybe it's time to take a break.
Like a
Yup. No, Calvin Klitsch instead. Source, yup. No, not Guatemala. Nothing will cost you everything. You are out of Guatemala. We know that's wrong. Panama.
USA and Brazil locked level. Still goalless, but Brazil have had the better chances, more of them. And it's been an uncomfortable ride to this point for the US. No substitutions to report at this point. And of course the US do have Roosevelt to call on from the bench should they require, and Brazil can look towards their all-time great Mata as a possible second-half substitute. In warm and, as you can see, very bright conditions in the French capital. We are back underway. The US pursuing the first Olympic gold medal in women's football since 2012 in London. And trying to bring to a close, Julie Faudia, a pretty fallow 5-year period since the 2019 World Cup.
Yeah, just seeing the United States back in this gold medal match brought so much joy to US fans after that drought. Looking for Ludmilla, who looks to have the legs on Fox, and across comes Germa. And again, straight out of the gates, it's Ludmilla coming at that back line. We'll see how Brazil shapes up, but I would guess in that halftime locker room, more of the same. More pressing, more chaos, more running. They want to make this a track meet. Spectators still retaking their seats. It's a stadium that's well used to holding finals and major sporting events. 9 games at the Men's World Cup of 1998, 7 matches at the Women's World Cup of 2019, including a memorable win for the US against the hosts, France, in the quarter-final. Gabby Portillo. Time at the pass by Taylor Davidson. Well done by Davidson here, because we have seen Gabby Portillo have her way in that corner. At some point, there will be an enormous roar, one imagines, for the introduction of Mata. And there is a potential injury issue for Brazil. As you can see, Tarcian signaling to the bench that she thinks they may need to change one of the players. Meanwhile, US, Swanson available for the pass, which wasn't quite accurate enough from Sophia Smith. Duda. Blocked by Germa. And the flag is up. You've been counting Naomi Germa's touches of the ball in the first half of this game, and there's a marked difference, isn't there, between the amount of involvement she's had in that sense and her stats through the tournament. Yeah, and you're getting a look at Smith not able to connect with Mal Swanson, but those are the moments the United States have to pounce on, because it's a mistake in the back by Brazil. They are going to make those mistakes. It wasn't actually my counting, it was Paul Carr's counting, of course. But it's Naomi Germa had a team-high 109 touches per 90 minutes through the U.S. women's team, first 5 Olympic matches, and she has 17 touches at halftime today. I mean, just to give you an indication of how little this U.S. team has had, and that is Yaya, their midfielder, down, getting some treatment. That's what Tarcian was signaling to the bench about. And the bigger point of this stat is that because Germa has only had those 17 touches, it was those touches which allow the United States to get their legs, to rest, to recover. And we're now back to 6 games in 16 days. And yes, both teams have had that, but it's a very different story for this Brazil side that through the skin of their teeth got through the group stage with all these changes, got through the hosts in France, got through the world champion Spanish side, and the reward of that is they now have a fresher team. I do think it's time for my rant about the way this tournament is set up, because we might have a little bit of time. It's asking too much of these players. It's ridiculous what they ask of them. And it's dangerous as we see one stretch it off. 2 days rest, travel is one of those days. Larger rosters they need. Why not just let all 22 play instead of having this ridiculous alternate rule where you flip and change players anyways? Why not start a little earlier? Don't travel as much. Player safety should be first and foremost in all this. Have 16 teams, and I'm saying the same thing for the men's side as well. These are long years for these players. The calendars are packed.
Most of the coaches here. Here's Smith and Swanson. And that was perhaps America's best chance to this juncture. Crystal Dunn on the follow-up. Corbin Alberts. Smith again. And Sam Coffey. And the chance has gone a-begging for the US.
Look earlier before the Coffey look from Smith across. Let's see if they give us that replay. Trinity Rodman on that far side, a little slow to get up as well.
Victoria is the player who's come on in possession now, wearing 17 to replace the injured Yaya. Judah Sampaio. Laura. To the goalkeeper, Lorena. Saint-Germain's men's team. This was home until very recently for Kylian Mbappe. And Victoria Yaya's very sadly has run. Multiple substitutes, 5 of them at the moment. There's no particular activity from the US bench. Germa. I thought that Germa got a touch, allowed Fox to intervene. And in Naomi Germa, despite a few shaky moments, we are talking about the player described by Emma Hayes, the coach, as the best defender she has ever seen.
And what a tournament she's had. You can see the fatigue in this game as Emily Fox comes across. It's done really well. Also, but Germa has been by far the best center back in this tournament, and I think you could argue in the world. And the U.S. very content to slow this game down a little bit. It's choppy. They're going to take their time.
Swanson. Varane. Smith holds back. And Duda is clipped.
Service again for the United States. When they get into those spaces, have to get by that first defender. Have to find a more meaningful pass in that penalty box. And as this game drags on, those chances are fewer and fewer.
Getting a tick off, and you can hear in the background Emma Hayes screaming at the referee, we want a break quickly, and she's upset that Brazil A committed the foul and B then stood in the way of the free kick being taken. Swanson. Varane. Just too much on it for Trinity Rodman.
Oh, and that's the first time we've seen Rodman in a position to break free. You see her just pointing to that space. Varane, that look says it all. She knows she missed this great opportunity there. Usually on point in terms of pace. And leading Rodman into that space. But you just can't give enough credit to this Brazilian side who, after having only scored 3 goals in their first 4 games in this tournament, and having to knock off France and Spain, as we've talked about, that looked very threatening in this game.
Yes!
Waiting for a word in her ear, confirms the goal. Valerie Swanson is garnished her 100th cap with the goal by which the US lead in the gold medal game. And the steady as you go approach from the United States since half-time has served them well.
And I think it was a mistake of Brazil to take their foot off the gas a little bit. They slowed the game down. Obviously, it's hard to play 90 minutes at this pace. As again, you see Tarsien reaching for that ball. Going down. But I do think as this second half started, the United States very content with the pace of it. It wasn't as frenetic. It wasn't so back and forth. And whether Arthur Elias had the confidence to say, can we do this for another 45, and maybe we wait a little bit for that. But as we talked about at halftime, all you needed was that one look with these front 3. They're just so fast. And Brazil is prone to those mistakes. As good as this team has looked in moments, they always have those mistakes, and could the United States pounce on them as Marta looks on and possibly steps forward to come into this match. And just to add to this storyline, in what she says is her last competitive match, her last game, competitive game, I should say. Can she come off the bench? Six-time FIFA World Player of the Year in her 6th Olympics and change the game once again, as she has done for over the course and spanning 3 decades.
On goes the armband, and up it will go with a roar. For the final time in a major tournament, players who've done more than most to change the landscape for women's football comes on. Priscilla and Angelina accompany her. Marta becomes the oldest player ever to appear in an Olympic gold medal game. Anna Vittoria. Lauren. Comes foul. Marta's flick on. And then Marta's chest down. And Mallory Swanson in full flow.
And that is exactly how this second half and these last 25-30, if that's all it takes, is going to play out to be. Tarcion having to cover for the speed of a Mallory Swanson, Trinity Rodman, and Sophia Smith on that front line.
Angelina beaten by Smith, who hurdles a couple of challenges, then runs into difficulty. Priscilla. Marta. Marta's ball in. Coffin all clear for the US. A mistake. Offers hope for Sophia Smith. Looking a lot on that. Moran. Rodman. And it opens up for Trinity Rodman. And Rodman places it wide of the upright with the goal gaping.
You can see the look on her face. Wide open, comes across. This is such a good move. Spins Tarcion, puts it on that left foot as we've seen her in this tournament. Curl that in, exactly what she's trying to do again. Just can't whip around enough of it to spin it back in, and immediately know she doesn't get it right. And what a good look for the United States. And again, Brazil, which for so many decades has been the death of them, making those mistakes in the back.
Moran, Smith, Swanson. Much more to encourage the US now, not just the scoreline, but the run of the play, the opportunities that they're carving out.
U.S. players on the sidelines warming up, all of them up.
Angelina. Coffee. Looking to get Smith on her way as quickly as possible. Swansea laboring a little but gets goal side. Sophia Smith.
But these gaps opening up for the United States. Smith on that left side doesn't get it right either on that one. But the gaps are wider and wider as this Brazil team gets stretched, loses its shape a little bit. But the U.S. knows those chances are golden. To put a second one in and change this game would be enormous for some tired legs.
Adriana. That should be Naomi Gomez. Angelina. She's actually born in New Jersey. Brazil have a corner kick.
Unlucky for Emily Fox. Covering all the way back, thinks it's going over her head. But again, the pressure from that left wing back and Yasmin for Brazil.
Marta, who's been such a thorn in the side of the United States so often in the past. She hopes that she may have one more special moment in the spotlight. Angelina. And away.
Third Olympic gold medal match for Marta, the prior to coming in 2004 and 2008. And you speak about the thorn in the side, it's the United States who has taken that gold in both of those moments. For Marta. 30th Olympic appearance.
Marta, I suppose, in response to a point to a World Cup semi-final in 2007. In which she scored two.
Oh, match your semi-final win with 2 Olympic gold medals. Boom. I mean, but we'll save that conversation for a moment. Lauren is down with an injury.
And Arthur Elias, who saw his side make most of the first half running, is the manager with more problems right now. Darren, who was actually stretchered off in the last match, it was a major surprise that she made the starting lineup today.
And from that replay, you saw there was no contact. It was a turn. It was a pushing off that leg to try and track back.
Here's a look at the onside call for Swanson's goal. Thais.
And that was Thais on the far side in the middle there that kept everyone on side. And what a great finish by Swanson that is. Nestled into the side netting.
Last time the United States won an Olympic gold medal, she was a 14-year-old watching rather scratchy pictures on a device in Buffalo Wild Wings.
She said her friend texted her and she's like, "You remember where we were?" And what a journey. Yeah, I mean, you look at Mallory Swanson, who missed the World Cup last summer because of that torn patellar tendon. 3 surgeries, an infection. She's fought back and she is flying. 4 goals in this tournament, 5 Olympic goals total.
Fox popping up in unusual territory. Smith, corner.
And boy, this is not the second half I expected. If I'm Brazil, I am keeping the chaos going, and maybe they just don't have the legs for it. It is a lot to ask, even with the rotation. But the United States, loving the way this second half is shaped up, because this is a team in Brazil that's not pressing, that's not pushing the needle as they were in the first half.
Swanson will take the corner. Battling on for now.
So going back to those 2 gold medals
Yeah, gone.
that I'm raising you, the one thing with Marta that is missing from her resume is just that, is that she's 6-time FIFA Player of the Year, World Player of the Year, 6th Olympics, 6 World Cups. I mean, she's changed the game. She's not even arguably, she's the greatest player to ever play, and she does not have a World Cup or Olympic title.
Sparing your blushes, that's partially down to you. 2004. Swanson. Smith. Well, looking for Sam Coffey who made a run. And the flag is up this time. Sonnet. He's being made ready. And the US beginning to think of a little defensive insurance.
I am pleased the United States has not dropped into a very conservative defensive shell.
And Chio. And that will be a Brazilian corner.
With tired legs is an understandable situation, as Brazil trying to find a little lift in this second half. Tercian clearly one of their targets.
Contested by Brazil, but goal kick given. Everyone will be very happy with that. And Emily Sonnet is going to come on for Tina Davidson as we watch this replay.
And here is the near post. It is the right call coming off Tercian. And Tina Davidson with that knee contusion. And Hayes was not sure how many minutes she could get out of her 73. It's done great. Had a lot of swelling in that knee. And in comes a incredibly experienced world champion and Emily Sonnet.
The bronze medalists, Germany, watch on, they'll be part of the medal ceremony at the conclusion of the game here. The US are hoping that they will be the headline act.
That's like a sense of torture right there for them to make them do that. I don't understand that, and I don't like it. I've been there, and I don't like it. You have to watch on the final that you're not in. You have to watch it. Sit there. We're gonna change that. We're gonna change that rule too.
My word, revolution on the way. Marta is the 6th player to appear in 3 Olympic gold medal games. And Nicole Clears one of the other 5. Haran.
fresh legs of a Priscilla, for example. You just got a glimpse of her there.
It's a hydration break. The US go into it, leading through Malawi. Swanson's goal. Fourth at these Olympics, a fifth in total in Olympic football competition. Emma Hayes and her opposite number, Arthur Elias, able to administer a few more guiding words.
I think if you're Arthur Elias, you have to ramp it up back again. You've got to bring the press, the chaos, and try and get something off of that back line. It'd be interesting when that U.S. shifts into a more defensive stance. Right now, staying in that mid-block. Because as soon as you drop into that low block and Brazil is picking up balls in their own box, there is craziness that ensues.
Dropping on Emma Hayes, of course, we really share her story and the fact that in some senses things are coming full circle for her and possibly for the US, because the last time they played in a gold medal game was at Wembley Stadium in her native London, and she sat on the halfway line at Wembley with her late father Sid, who passed away only last September. It was a great inspiration to her and to the rest of her family. He was a great proponent of women's soccer, particularly in the United States, and his dying wish was that Emma would take on the US women's national team job. And that was actually confirmed just a few weeks after he passed away.
Watching these women shine here and being a part of this with, again, really for the first time, no expectations. Well, there's never none, to be fair, with this United States team, but little expectations of how they would do in this tournament, coming off the World Cup disappointment, the last Olympics disappointment, and of course the fact that she came so late to the equation. Only in June did she arrive.
Victoria. And the corner off done. And just to underscore the journey, as Megan Rapinoe looks on approving the journey that Emma Hayes has been on. It's not all been glory, there have been dark days as well. Summer youth camps on Long Island when she was without money and at times struggling to maintain a visa. College coaching, a difficult spell with Chicago Red Stars. Marta's corner, and she'll get the chance to do it again. And it was really 12 years with Chelsea that forged her reputation. A job that she took on just 5 days after the US last won an Olympic gold medal. Marta again. She can deliver from a slightly different angle. That's from a distance that was unlikely to be a concern for Nair.
And these final 11 minutes will be such a test for this Brazilian side that is young, that is hungry indeed, and so badly wanting that gold medal for their legend and Marta. But they're also staring at the fact that for the third time in an Olympic final, they could be losing to the United States, and how do they handle that emotionally?
Defended by Fox, although that's well distributed. Swanson. And Smith will stretch weary limbs and does well and sets off. And Tasia doesn't stand on ceremony, but lunges in, and she'll be lucky to escape the yellow, and indeed she doesn't.
Sophia Smith, just a few passes later, drawing the yellow card, doing so well to first keep it inbounds.
And Julie found it gives you a gold medal game opportunity to come up with your favourite set piece stat.
Okay.
Which you can't quite find. So shall I just tell the audience?
Yeah, tell them because they're tired of me saying it.
So am I, actually, I'm sure. I just thought you'd insist. The US has scored one direct free kick goal in the last 4.5 years.
Yes, Katerina Macario in 2022, and before that it was Megan Rapinoe in 2020. So that's one in 4.5 years. On a direct free kick goal. Can they break that? Can Gianni Veer, their set piece specialist, seal the gold medal perhaps?
The ball is at the feet of the captain, the former Paris Saint-Germain player, Lindsay Horan. Patricia Hall in front of her, half of it is American, and that will split. It is Horan. It's again Horan. And it is unbelievable.
Very underwhelming. Tertian does well to keep her hands behind her back. And just to be sure.
Lynn Williams is going to come on shortly for the US. Coffee. Around. Done. Harris. Around again. Swanson. Around will pick up the pieces. Corbin Albert. And it was all a looping effort in the end. Caused a little bit of alarm for Lorena.
US again getting another very good look. Almost sneaks that one into the top corner. And there has been a lot of discussion on the tactic that Emma brought into this tournament of I'm going to ride that first 11. As she makes this substitution here, only her second of the game.
Brazil already made a change, and it's in defence with Rafael Orlando Pride on in place of Lauer. And Lynn Williams will replace Sophia Smith on her birthday. She may be just 10 minutes away from receiving the press present.
We did ask her if she realized the final was on her birthday. She was quick to say yes. And the only thing I've asked for is that gold medal. And they are minutes from that possibility. And I go back to the discussion around should Emma have played more players. There was a lot of debate on that. We talked about the grind of this tournament. And Emma Hayes has maintained this entire tournament that this has been the right approach, that she knows this 11 the most. She doesn't know the team that well. Their ceilings, their floors. And there will be no arguments if they have that gold medal around their neck that was the right approach to make.
Angelino. Gabby Porcillo. And that's pretty dogged and defined by Crystal Dunn.
And all game we've watched Porcillo try and get around that corner. Dunn fighting her off, getting it over that line. Did she get a touch on it at the end? No.
It's probably important to make the point. You're aware that with a large audience on NBC, we've got a lot of you that maybe don't watch soccer continually and dip in and out at major events. Maybe the perception is, well, the US women usually end up with a gold medal, whatever they're doing, but that hasn't been the case for the last few years, and there needed to be a turning of the page, a new chapter written, and maybe this is the start of that. But it's far from done yet.
There's no question the pecking order has changed in terms of how many teams could win this. I mean, Brazil was close to once again getting knocked out in the group stage, as they were at the World Cup last summer. And that's a good thing for women's football.
Sonnets. And out by Fox.
And no surprise there that it's Marta trying to get to that near post. Can she put one last stamp on this game? And perhaps her final competitive match as a player.
Angelina. So the tackle by Coffey. Firm header by Dunn. Adriana is brought down and Brazil have a free kick in a position of danger.
Of course, these are the situations the U.S. really has to be careful in. Just this bouncing ball coming up, unlucky for Coffey. A little bit clumsy coming into that tackle.
Marta with a nod and a wink. Well aware of the danger that lurks. Marta.
You knew what was going on Marta's left foot, and you knew it was going up and over. Just couldn't get it to come back over and down. Underneath that, not what she wanted to hit.
United States won Olympic gold in 1996, 2004, 2008, 2012. And we are only a year and 4 days on from the conclusion of the US's worst ever World Cup. So things have turned around. And whilst if the US see this through, there will be plenty of plaudits for their new coach. She's keen to stress that many of the foundations are actually put in place under a previous regime. That's Adriana. And now we'll take the ball on.
And there in this tournament, no surprise there, has just been so good. You go back to that semi-final save, as you were mentioning earlier, John, against Freigang. The one here on Gabby Portillo in the first half. And this just hasn't been the same team. It was asking a lot for them to play with that pace. It hasn't been the same Brazilian side in this second half.
10 more minutes. And an awful lot can happen in 10 minutes. And that will encourage Brazil.
You heard the crowd roar. Oh my gosh, big sigh came out.
The US were prepared for this. It was predicted by Emma Hayes yesterday. There would be a huge chunk of additional time at the end of the contest. Only once before has a team been held scoreless in an Olympic gold medal game, and that was Brazil by the US in 2008. And there's never been more than a one-goal margin in a gold medal fixture in the Olympic women's tournament history. Unusually tight affairs. Mallory Swanson's goal just short of the hour mark. The difference between two teams, Brazil had the better of the first half, the US unquestionably have been superior in the second. Angelina, a give and go with Marta. And Coffey committing a straightforward foul. And this free kick is taken quickly to Marta. Adriana. Good adjustment by Germa. It was an awkward height. She needed to keep her arms out of the way too. Adriana. Anna Victoria. Robin Albert will leave it for Sonnet to clear. Marta.
Well struck ball by Marta. She's just hoping someone flying in from that far post can slash in with that bend on it. Too close to Nair. But a full 8 minutes still for this Brazilian team.
And Brazil have used all their available substitutes in the context of normal time. 5 substitutions. Broken up by Albert. Rodman. Swanson. And the flag will go at this time against the player who scored the US goal and who was then rather gratuitously clipped after the whistle had gone.
There is Swanson in the offside position.
Emma Hayes, who has dreamt of being involved at the Olympics. She says as a little girl she used to speculate on what it would be like to carry the flag at the opening ceremony, and even though she was growing up in London, it was the US flag that she wanted to carry. Here is Gabby Pacheco. Angelina. Adriana! Another moment of defiance from Alyssa Nair. And Brazil are finding a second wind.
First it's Emily Sonnet with the great defense, and then, of course, as Casey Murphy applauds on, Brazil finds a little gap. And on that far post, gets her paw up in there. Just enough, and the US there to clean it up. What a nice save, react save. Tom Cruise likes it as well.
Casey Kruger is coming on in place of the potential match winner Mallory Swanson. The US making their third change in the 5th minute of additional time. About to go down in history as the scorer of the winning goal in an Olympic gold medal game. Rodman. Tess Olofsson's blown a whistle.
I think she's calling it back for offside. Is she? No? Maybe she's calling a foul in the corner? Yeah, she is. Rodman did look like she was in an offside position again. They don't raise the flag if there is some question. They wait.
Nasty. And Lindsay Horan's in some trouble here. Tess Olofsson calling for immediate medical attention. And US players charging to their captain's aid. Did not appear to be a genuine attempt to challenge for the ball. was leading.
Coming all the way up.
And Lindsay Horan is going to require some treatment. And hopefully we'll be okay. The United States so close now, but this will prolong things further. US medical staff and physicians. Juliet Barnes and the team doctor who today is Monica Rowe.
And the U.S. do have Rose Lavelle, who can come into that 10 position.
And thankfully, Horan is now sitting up and responding well to those around her. No lasting damage has been done. As Lindsay Horan hopes before too long to be leading her team up onto the podium, way behind the right-hand goal here.
Brazil was able to take that ball freely, but Nair clean and coming for that. Great to see Horan back up playing.
So this header down. Tassian is now playing as an extra forward. Tallest player in the Brazil team. She is a target. Emily Fox turns away in disappointment as she slices her clearance.
I think the one critique, if the score stands as it is, of Brazil is the changes they've been able to make. Really, the strategy coming into that second half was to continue to run that United States team ragged, whether they didn't have the capacity to do that or not. Their change in tactical approach clearly favored this tiring United States team. And what a story this will be. And Emma Hayes' only 10th game with the United States, straight off of a Chelsea title, as you talked about.
Nervous substitutes, the US out of changes now. All of them standing in the dugout, ready to salute and to acclaim. Emma Hayes has talked at length about the way taking this job already has made her dreams come true. She's about to play a big part in making a lot of other people's dreams come true. And there's Kruger. And there's no point in attempting anything extravagant now for the US. Previous players to score gold medal clinching goals for the US. Tiffany Milbrett, Abby Wambach, and twice Carly Lloyd. And now it looks like Mallory Swanson. But Marta has one last burst, but there was a handball, and that may be her and Brazil's final contribution. There will be a bit of extra time added onto the additional time because of the injury to Horan.
There is the handball coming off Marta there. That saves the United States. Back-to-back extra time games for the United States. 10 minutes of stoppage time here today. And there's Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe hopeful.
Adriana, trouble on the ball. Trinity Rodman. Williams would have been in an offside position. Rodman protects it and earns a free kick.
sideline, willing the players on. They have put so much into these 6 matches in 16 days. It's been 12 years.
Emily Sonnet. Trinity Rodman, it's out for a throw. It's at the right end of the pitch for the US, the wrong end of the field for Brazil. It seems that Marta will depart the global scene without a major international gold medal. Crystal Dunn. This week last year, US dispatched from the World Cup in ignominious circumstances. But the times, they appear to be a-changing. It is gold!
Yes, we won the gold medal!